Hello and welcome to the 1 level 60 guide. In today's video I'm going to be talking to you about endgame PVE currencies and what sort of various rewards they give and how to obtain them. So looking at the screen at the moment you may think, oh, there's loads of currencies. Well, actually only 4, possibly 3 are relevant, and I'm just going to talk you through them. So the 4 that are sort of relevant are Empyreal Source Stone, Infinity Stone, Frozen Eclipse Stone, and Imperial Slayer's Mark. Now, the reason I was a bit hesitant on 4 is Imperial Source Stones, the blue ones, are fairly useless. I mean, then they don't seem to be too good for anything. I'm just going to, open up the Rift Store and show you. But sort of all the gear you can get for them doesn't seem terribly good at all. It's all very low level stuff. And I think when you actually reach 60, none of the gear automatically comes up on the cash shop. So genuinely, if you've got a load of these from leveling, they're no good at all. You might as well just sort of disenchant them, because the best gear you can get is around level 54, 56. And if you've been questing and picking up gear in the open world, then that is likely to be a lot more better than anything you can buy from them. So going on to the 3 relevant currencies then. So the first is Infinity Stones. Now these are mainly gained from open world stuff, but there is an absolute ton of ways that you can gain these. The main way that you gain them is via zone events. You can obtain them via instant adventure, Carnage quests, in Ashora Steps of Infinity and Dendrome, Strongholds. Also, a few of them drop from the various Chronicles at the end. In A Hero Rises, you have a choice between Infinity Stones or Imperial Slayer's Mark. So genuinely, anything that you do out in the open world and also in the Chronicles, you'll pretty much get Infinity Stones for. Now, if you look in the sort of shop, you'll see there's quite a lot of gear you can buy from Infinity Stones. But what I'd actually recommend is you don't spend any Infinity Stones on gear at all, because essentially it's kind of a waste. I mean, you'll mainly want to spend Infinity Stones and save them up for the essences that you get with the Dwarven Hunter's rep, because those are very expensive and you will want to buy a lot of them. The other thing you will want to spend your Infinity Stones on are Synergy Crystals. Now, with the amount of sort of diversity in Rift, you're pretty much going to want almost every Synergy Crystal, and they cost 3,000 to buy initially, and then an additional 4,500 to upgrade. Pretty much everything brought with Infinity Stones can also be brought with credits, apart from the max level essences with Dwarven Hunter's rep. So, just keep that in mind. Maybe if you're Daddy Warbucks, you're not going to, spend any Infinity Stones and just buy it with all credits and just do what you like. But for most people, it would be advisable to save the Infinity Stones for essences, the cape, and also the Synergy Crystals. Now, I'm just going to go into what the other currencies are. So, the other ones are Imperial Slayer's Marks. Now, the way that you mainly get these is by doing the daily random Storm Legion Expert, and that awards 400 of them. You can also get them from the Chronicles. Both of them drop a moderate amount. I believe the solo one drops 100, and the Duo Chronicle drops 150 at the end. But there's also a chest inside the Duo Chronicle which has a chance to drop pretty much anywhere between 100 and 200, so that's another source of gaining them. With this gear, it sort of gives you expert equivalent gear, and with all the gear that you can buy from Imperial Slayers, you'll notice it's initially blue, and then you can also buy an upgrade component also from the shop from Imperial Slayer's Marks or credits. You've got both the options. If you wish to just bypass this phase, then you can do that if you are a rich bitch or just want to remortgage your house and buy credits because you're really addicted to Rift and loving it. But yes, so that's all about Imperial stuff. Imperial stuff will, if you have a full set of it, give you the stats to initially enter raiding, so sort of the hit, toughness requirements, that'll give it all. So you can have a look through that on your own volition and see what is an upgrade, etc. The final currency is known as Frozen Eclipse Stones. Now, all the gear brought with Frozen Eclipse Stones is fairly best in slot, and absolutely none of it can be brought with credits. Now, Rift is not a pay-to-win game, so you can't buy the best gear with credits. There is no way that sort of paying is going to give you any advantage. Now, I'm going to go into a bit of detail on how to get these because, you know, everybody wants to know how to get the best gear, etc. So, there are the 4 raids that you can do. Obviously, to enter any of these raids, you're going to need a full expert set, so you've got to start there and progress up. But also combined with the gear that you can buy in the auction house, which I'm going to go into in a lot more detail in another video entitled How to Get Raid Ready Really Fast. I'll talk about that, etc. But basically, this is all the best gear. There are 4 raids that you can get in. There's Triumph of the Dragon Queen, Frozen Tempest, Endless Eclipse, and Grim Awakening, and they all drop Frozen Eclipse Stones. There is a total weekly limit on the amount that you could gain, which stands at 4,600. Once you reach this limit, you cannot gain any more. So there are also 2 ways to gain Frozen Eclipse Stones, without actually setting foot inside a raid dungeon. Now these two ways are firstly the open world bosses in Dendrome, so that's sort of like Sambora, Kazra, and Arcane. Those names will probably seem a bit barren at first, but you'll see them sort of spammed a lot in level 60 chat, so that's something to keep an eye on. There's not really any gear requirement to join these. They're open world bosses. There is like a hit requirement on there. You'll need 500 hit to actually hit the bosses. When you get the quests for them, you'll get an item which gives you 200 hit, for which you can keep on using. So essentially, to actually hit these bosses reliably, you need 300 hit, but nothing is stopping you from going along, just, you know, pressing your like attack button for a minute until something hits, tagging the boss. So when it dies, you're getting the rewards from the weekly quest, and that'll give you some stones and maybe, you know, help you further get into raiding and progress your gear further. Now the second way is actually through the 2-man chronicle known as Queen's Gambit. Now I've discovered this a few days ago. There is sort of a hidden treasure chest somewhere in the instance. It does have about sort of 5 locations that it spawns, but it does have a moderately small chance to drop about 70 to 100 raid marks. So if you go in there, then you can possibly, you know, grab some quick raid marks. So, you know, just go in, mount up, run around the instance till you find the treasure chest. The mobs have a reasonably low reset range in terms of aggro, so, you know, once you don't need any gear from that, you can just sort of run around the instance until you find the treasure chest. You may need to kill a boss or 2 to access certain areas, but it is not too difficult and time consuming for sort of the rewards worth. One that I actually forgot about, which they've recently implemented, is also you get 50 Frozen Eclipse Stones every time you do a random Storm Legion Expert dungeon. So it may be, well, it's pretty much worth doing that every day. Unfortunately on this character, I literally dinged 60 a couple of hours ago, so I've not yet got ready for experts or really done anything of value. So that kind of covers currencies. If you have any sort of questions or anything, feel free to ask in the comments below. Also, feel free to like, subscribe, leave a nice little comment saying, yeah, thanks for the help. Really boosts my ego.